If you've been hearing more and more about Roth conversions lately, there's a good reason. And they're getting a lot of attention again. And honestly, they should be. Because a Roth IRA can be one of the most powerful tools in retirement planning. Tax-free growth, more flexibility, potentially better legacy planning. Those are all pretty strong combinations. But here's where most people get stuck. They focus only on whether to convert, when the real question is, how do you pay for the conversion in the smartest way possible? Because that is where the real strategy lives. Most advisors will give you the usual answer. Convert in a low income year. Stay in your bracket. Use outside cash if you can. Spread it out over time. And again, that's not bad advice. It's just standard advice. It's the same conversation most people hear over and over again. But I want to show you a bigger idea. Instead of only asking, how do I pay the tax? Ask this. How do I structure the conversion so the tax doesn't wreck the rest of the retirement plan? That's a very different question, and it leads to a very different outcome. A Roth conversion is simple in theory. You move money from a pre-tax IRA into a Roth IRA. You pay tax now, and then you potentially get tax-free growth later. All sounds great until you see the tax bill. And that is where a lot of people freeze. They don't want to give up a big chunk of money just to make the conversion happen. And that's understandable. So let's talk about the most common ways people handle it. And some people use money from the IRA itself to pay the tax. That's easy. But now you're reducing the very asset that you're trying to reposition. Some people use outside money, savings, a brokerage account, cash reserves. That keeps the IRA intact. But now you're using money that could have stayed invested or stayed available for other needs. Some people look at an annuity-based or an insurance-based strategies. And those may have a place in certain cases, but they can also come with trade-offs. Less flexibility, more cost, more dependence on carrier terms. So here's the big opportunity. What if you could look at the tax code itself as part of the solution? What if instead of just paying the tax, you could strategically create deductions or planning efficiencies that help offset the liability? Now we're talking about a very different level of planning, because now you're not just converting money. You're trying to preserve growth. You're trying to preserve flexibility. And you're trying to keep more capital working for your retirement. And if you're looking for growth, well, that matters, because the Roth IRA often is exactly where you want that money to end up. That's where future growth can happen tax-free. And that's where the long-term opportunity really lives. So why weaken the growth engine just to cover the tax if there may be a smarter way to handle it? Let me give you a simple example. Let's say someone wants to convert $500,000 from an IRA to a Roth IRA. Well, that could create a tax bill of about $200,000. For most people, that's where the conversation ends. They hear that number and immediately think, maybe not. But what if that tax liability could be strategically offset through the right planning? What if the conversion could be structured in a way that keeps more of the portfolio working and reduces the drag of the tax bill? Now that's a much better conversation, because now the question is not just, can I afford to convert? It becomes, how do I do this the right way? And that's the difference between a basic Roth conversion and a truly strategic one. Now, let me be clear. Most advisors are not leading with this approach. Why? Because the standard conversion is a lot easier. It's easier to talk about brackets. It's easier to talk about timing. It's easier to say use outside cash if you can. But deeper planning takes more coordination. It takes more expertise. It takes a willingness to look beyond the obvious answer. And that's why so much of the conversation online stays stuck on the basics. But if you're serious about retirement planning, the basics aren't always enough. So here's the real takeaway. Don't just ask whether a Roth conversion makes sense. Ask how the conversion should be structured. Because a Roth conversion done poorly can create unnecessary tax pain. A Roth conversion done well can unlock powerful long-term benefits. And a Roth conversion done strategically can help you preserve growth, protect flexibility, and better align your money with your goals. And that's the real opportunity. The conversion is not just the event. The structure is the strategy. A Roth conversion isn't just about getting money into the Roth. It's about doing it without sacrificing the rest of the plan. If you've been thinking about a Roth conversion, if you already have significant IRA assets, this is something worth evaluating carefully. Not every strategy fits every person, but the difference between a good conversion and a great one often comes down to planning. Schedule a free consultation today and we'll map out Roth conversion strategies that align with your goals. The link is in the description, and if this video gave you something useful, hit follow so you never miss a new one. You've earned the retirement that you want. Let's build a plan to make sure it lasts. I'm here for you, getting you retirement ready.